Imagine running a kubectl command thinking you are safely cleaning up your development cluster. But behind the scenes, without any warning, you just wiped the production server. And the worst part, you didn't even type the wrong cluster name. You just fell into the most dangerous trap in Kubernetes, the kubeconfig merge. Most engineers think they know how chaining multiple config file works. They're wrong. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how this silent killer works using the 3 clusters which I have already set up. Let me show you the clusters. Kubecontrol config get clusters. So here are the clusters which I have created: development, production, staging. Yeah. Today I want to show you or recall a mistake which one of my friend did. So he was trying to execute this command. Actually, what he was trying to do is he was trying to merge it by using the export command kubeconfig and the configuration files. So this is the example he was trying to execute it. So what happens when you execute this command? So it will merge all the cluster information into a single config file. So he thought that uh, by commanding this one, so he was safely executing the commands in a dev cluster because it was the first file. Correct. So far he is right. But then he tried to change the order, and that's when his nightmare began. So before we replicate our bug, so let's look at the files. So right now I have already generated the config files for my clusters. So here I have dev.yaml, production.yaml, staging.yaml. These are the individual files, and this is the table where you can generate the config files for any cluster using these commands. So it works for all the clusters, including EKS, JKE, GKE, or AKS, or any cluster. Okay, you can refer this table. Now I already have 3 standalone files: dev.yaml, staging.yaml, production.yaml. Right now, let's first inspect it. Then we'll move. So how do we inspect the merged file? Did I merge it? No. So let's first merge it and then we'll see. So kubeconfig. Right now I'm merging it by using export kubeconfig equal to dev.yaml, staging.yaml, prod.yaml. Okay. Now I have merged it. Now let's see the merged file. So how do you see that? Kubecontrol config view. Look at this. It looks beautiful, right? You see all your clusters, all your users, and all your context merged into one list. Correct? This is the single file. Now let's ask kubecontrol a simple question. So who are you talking to right now? I mean, what is your current context? So let's ask. So how do you ask? Kubecontrol config current context. So right now our context is dev. Why? You have not used any use context command, but the current context is dev. So how does you execute it? I mean, how did you set up this one? How did you implement it? How did you make dev as your current context? How did you do? You did it by executing this command. See, if you see here, so you ran this command, you merged it, and dev was set as your current context. Why? Kubernetes, when you execute this command, Kubernetes will scan the files from left to right. The very first from the left, it will consider your the current context. For the current context, to set your current context, Kubernetes will consider with the very first left file. So it automatically sets the context from the variable left file, very first left file. So that's how you set the context without using use context command. Now let's say this is the problem. That's how my friend ended up missing the production server. So he played around, he changed the order, and he executed this one. So now see here, now I executed. Now there is no error message, no success message, nothing. Now first you executed export kubeconfig equal to dev.yaml staging colon prod. Now after some time, so you have executed export kubeconfig prod.yaml dev.yaml staging.yaml. Now you have not received any error message or the success message, but you have changed your context. So this is where the most people will get wrong. So without knowing your context, so you will execute the commands which you are not supposed to do on that particular cluster. So it's very important to execute the commands before the commands in the right context. So before executing the commands in production, please make sure that you are in a right context. So how do you check or how do you set your context? So you can check by you can check your current context by using config current context. Right now we are in production. If you see here, I have if you see here, I have tweaked my terminal to make sure that to know in which cluster I am in. See here, right now it automatically shows I'm in production server. Let's say let's say I change the context. If you can look at here, right now it's without by looking at the prompt, you can know that you are in you are in dev cluster. I'm not sure whether this is allowed in your real-time environment, but it will help you. I did with the help of the Starship, the package. So I have installed the Starship. And there is one more thing, which kubectl. Yeah, you can use the kubectl to know which to know on which server you are right now. So it will help. Yeah. And before moving that, I want to tell you one more thing. So whatever the settings you have done right now, it is only applicable to your the existing terminal. If you close your terminal, all your settings, the export settings, then the merge settings, the merge, everything is gone. Why? Because it's a very thing. It's not permanent. It is local to the terminal. So if you close the terminal, all your settings is gone. So if you want to make it permanent, so you need to add it to shell profile, your shell profile. So I hope everyone knows how to add it. So you need to add it to your shell profile. So you can add it here. I will use Nano. My VI, I have some settings issues, so that I'm using Nano. So add it here. So add your export command here and source it, and it will be permanent. Okay, got it? Yeah. I just want to summarize one more thing. So don't play Russian roulette with your commands to stay alive. Check all your available context. So you can check kube control config get context. manually switch. So that's very important. Manually switch before executing any very important command. So manually switch by using the control config use context and context name. Okay, and let's recap before ending our video. Let's recap the rules of the kubeconfig merge. Okay, let's clear here so that I can show you. While you chain multiple kubeconfig files, kubeconfig loads all of them. Kubecontrol merges clusters, users, and contexts into one list. But kubecontrol doesn't talk to all the clusters. It picks only one context. The first file wins. That is very first one from the left. The current context is pulled from the leftmost file in your the export command. Exports are temporary. They only exist in the current shell session. Okay, always verify with the kubeconfig current context before hitting enter. That's very important thing. Okay, I hope this demo saved you from a production incident. This is the stuff they don't teach you, but it's what keeps you going. If you learn something new, please hit like so that um, um, YouTube sends this to other engineers before they delete the production server. Subscribe for more Kubernetes deep dives if you like. And have you ever accidentally run any command on the wrong cluster? Please let us know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.